everybody, my name is Mars. You can call me MG if you'd like, and today is October 1st, which means it's officially Laudna-thon. Oh, I'm so excited, you guys have no idea how long I've been waiting for this. I have had this event planned since they announced the Laudna book, like I was on it. And now it's finally here, and I'm so excited to actually fulfill all the prompts and read the book and everything. So I have tentative plans for when I'm going to be doing the activity prompts. I have some ideas, but nothing concrete. The reading prompts, though, you probably already saw my TBR for. If not, I'll link it down below for you guys to check out. I have 3 books to read besides What Doesn't Break, obviously. And I did not know which one I wanted to start with, so last night I put a poll up on my Instagram and said, hey, choose which book I'm going to start with for Laudna-thon, and the winner was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, a nice short one to start off with. That's always a great thing to help me feel accomplished, is doing the easiest stuff first. This fulfills 2 prompts. It is the Shadow Sorcerer prompt because it has a black and white cover, and it's also the Hound of Ill Omen prompt because my cats picked this out for me. So I'm very excited. I have read this before, but it's been quite a while, so I'm happy to be returning to this. I know it is a very hard-hitting book. It's got illustrations, if I can find one. They're just absolutely stunning, so I think this is going to be a great experience and like perfect for the October spooky season, so I'm very glad that this is the one that won my poll to be starting with. So I will be picking this up later today, and I will give you updates as I read, obviously. Although this is like 200 pages? Like 210 pages, so I don't know if I'm going to update you throughout the book or just come to you at the end. I'm not really sure, but you will get my thoughts on this, obviously. And also, anytime I do activities, like I said, I don't really have things specifically planned out, so I don't know when I'm going to be doing the things that I'll be doing, but I will be doing them, and you'll be here to see that, so I'm just so happy that this is finally starting. I can't wait. We have 1 week until What Doesn't Break releases, and you know I will be heading to pick that up as soon as possible, so that's also something to look forward to. It's gonna be a good month, guys. I can just tell it's gonna be great, so I'm gonna get on things and see you at some point in the future with some updates on something, I guess. Hello friends, it is Wednesday, and I'm here to tell you that I finished A Monster Calls. This is what it looks like under the dust jacket. So it kind of doesn't fit the prompt without the dust jacket, but that's fine. I was just too lazy to go grab it from my office. I've been reading in the bedroom here, and it didn't make me cry, but it came really close. It's just very emotional and so good. I hate, however, the pages have this like glossy coating on them, and I guess it's because it's illustrated? I don't know, but I just really don't like that. It makes the pages harder to turn. But it was still really good, and I'm glad that I reread it. So that is 1 reading prompt already checked off. I think the next book, well, technically 2 reading prompts, because this book covered 2. I think the next book I'm going to read is going to be Sweet and Bitter Magic, because A Monster Calls was a reread, and Sweet and Bitter Magic is not a reread, but Mark of Athena is, so we'll like alternate, I guess. So I'll pick up Sweet and Bitter Magic next. As for the activity prompts, I have a little bit of an update. I decided that for the first 10 days of the month, I'm going to watch an episode of Over the Garden Wall, because there are 10 episodes. So today's the 2nd, I've already watched my episode for today, so I'm a 5th of the way through, and I guess I'll check it off when I finish the series, but that will be my fun, scary prompt, because the prompt for that is to watch something that's spooky, scary, and Over the Garden Wall is, so that's fun. I haven't completed anything else yet, but it is only October 2nd. I almost said August. That is not correct at all. It is only October 2nd, so I have plenty of time to get all these prompts done. Yeah, I'm having a good time, and I'm excited to continue and see what these prompts bring my way. Hello, friends. It is 8:15 p.m. on the 3rd, and I'm here to tell you that I'm halfway through Sweet and Bitter Magic, which has this cute little bow on the front. And also, I don't know if you can see, but cat tooth marks. Because when I picked this up from the Free Little Library, it was already damaged, and there's like, in the corner of some of the pages, I also don't know if you can see that, there's like cat bite marks. It's so funny, but anyway, I'm halfway through, see? And I'm loving this. This is so good. So we follow two main characters, and the chapters alternate points of view. So first we have Tamsin, and Tamsin is a witch. She's actually a very powerful witch, but 5 years prior to the start of the book, she used dark magic to save the life of her sister, her twin sister, which I didn't know they were twins going into this. I love books about twins. And it went wrong and resulted in multiple deaths, and so for her transgressions, she was banished from the Witchlands and cursed to never feel love. So she now lives in the regular world with normal people, and she does like magic for people, with the price being love, because the only way she can feel like warmth or joy, is by taking it from other people. So that is what she charges for her magic, and she's not having a good time, which I would understand that because she can't feel love or happiness or anything, so she lives a very like dreary existence. Our other protagonist is Ren, and she is a source, which is someone who can't use magic, so she's not a witch, but her body can like hold copious amounts of magic, so she should have been raised with the witches, but she hid this part of herself for her whole life because she only has her dad. Her mom died when she was really young, and her parents had a son years before Ren was born who died as a result of what's called the Year of Darkness, I think is what it's called, where this witch was using dark magic and it destroyed the land, basically. That was 30 years before the start of this book. But Ren has dedicated her entire like existence basically to taking care of her father, who is very ill mentally mostly, but also like it affects him physically because of the grief of losing his son and then his wife eventually. So Ren is very dedicated to taking care of him. But there's now this plague going around, and it's a magic plague. So Ren and Tamsin team up to try and fix it because Ren's dad gets affected by it, and Tamsin is like, fine, I will help you, but as payment you have to give me your love for your father. And Ren doesn't want to do that at first, but eventually she's like, no, I have to help him. So they have traveled to the Witchlands, and that is where I just got, was them making it through these magical woods. That was this whole ordeal, and they've run into the High Counselor. I keep reading it as Chancellor, but it's Counselor of the Witches, who is Tamsin's mom. And so we have that midpoint cliffhanger. I'm just having a fantastic time. Like, it's so well written, it's so fast paced. Like, it's wonderful. It's so good. So I am not gonna pick it up right away. Right now, I have my bullet journal stuff to do for the night, and I'm gonna be watching an episode of Over the Garden Wall while I do that, my bullet journal stuff. And then afterwards, I'm probably going to get right back in bed and continue reading this and get all cozy, because it's just really, really good. And I'm definitely finishing this tomorrow. It's not long. It's like 359 pages, so I'm 180 pages in. I'm gonna fly through the last 179 pages. So definitely gonna be finishing this tomorrow, and I will see you when that happens. Good morning, friends. It is 11:15 on the 4th, and I've just finished Sweet and Bitter Magic. I read so much yesterday. I only had 30 pages to finish this morning, and I just did, and I really love this book. It was so good. I will definitely read everything else this author has written. The relationship is just so cute, and like the sibling stuff that we get into is amazing. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 because there wasn't like that spark that lets me know a book is like a favorite made for me kind of thing, but still a 9 out of 10. Like, I adored this. I just wouldn't rank it like absolute perfect, you know? Like, I just had a great time with it. I'd like to get a copy that doesn't have like bite marks in it. Can you see it better now that I have the cover on, these bite marks? There's also some on the back. Yeah, I'd like to get a copy that isn't damaged, and then I could put this one back in the little free library from whence it came. But also, it's not really that big a deal. It's barely damaged, and getting it for free, like, it's fine. So, now I've completed 2 more of the reading challenges, or reading prompts, I guess. This was for Vexalia and Imogen, those 2 prompts. The next book I'm going to be picking up is a really heavy one. Geez, The Mark of Athena, which it covers all of the rest of the prompts. It is what are the other prompts? I should have pulled open my document. The Sun Tree, that's a prompt. And 2 other ones. I don't know. I'll talk about it at the end when I finish this book. But it covers the rest of the prompts, and I'm so excited to read this because I've been loving my reread of The Heroes of Olympus. And this will probably take me the whole weekend because today is Friday. And then the Laudna book doesn't come out until Tuesday. So this is actually very chunky. This might take me till Monday. But yeah, I feel like it's been like timed pretty well to finish all of these books, and then I get the Laudna book as the last one to read for this. I still haven't completed any of the activity prompts, but like, you know that I updated you 14 hours ago. So that I'm hoping to get done this weekend. I have plans tentatively for 2 or 3 of the activity prompts to get done. So I'm looking forward to that, and I will keep you updated as things go. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that I finished this book, and it was really, really good. And I'm looking forward to all the rest of the stuff that I'm doing for this vlog. So I will see you then. Hello friends, it is Saturday, and I'm just here to give you a quick little update because my boyfriend and I are about to go out and run some errands, but one of those errands involves dropping a box of donations off at a thrift store and then going in and probably buying stuff because I cannot be stopped. So that would cover the Wither and Bloom prompt, and I figured I'd let you know that that was my plan. I'm also just going to try and convince my boyfriend to stop at Wawa. A little bit of, hey, it'd be nice to get a pumpkin spice latte. because one of the prompts for this is to enjoy my favorite food, beverage, snack, whatever, and I think a pumpkin spice latte would definitely fulfill that for me. So we'll see what ends up happening. I don't know if I'll get much footage while out. I don't really like filming out and about, but I do understand it makes for a more dynamic vlog, so we'll see what I can do, and I will come back and let you know how things went when I'm back home. Hello friends, it has been several hours since I last spoke to you, and I'm back with a bag full of goodies. So I have had quite the day out. It's been very lovely actually. So the first stop on running errands was actually going to a friend's place, because a few weeks ago, I think it's like 3 weeks ago at this point, and by the time you see this video it'll be closer to like a month and a half ago, my friend was like, hey, for my birthday, I want the whole friend group to get together and go to one of those pottery painting things. Are you in? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. So we went, and we finally got our pieces back because they had to like glaze them and fire them and everything. And I have the cutest mug. So it's got a little mushroom on it. The inside is also very gold. It's very patchy because they recommend doing 3 coats to get it like even, and I only did 2 of each because I ran out of time. But it's got this like wood texture that I think looks very nice with the unevenness of the color, because real wood wouldn't be one solid color. And then this is green, and then I freehanded this mushroom. It was supposed to have, I mean it's shiny so you can barely tell, it was supposed to have like a speckly pattern to the red, and there's only like 4 speckles, so a little bit disappointed in that. But one of the other people who were there, they used the red speckle as well, and it didn't speckle very nicely, so I think it was just that batch or whatever. But yeah, and then the heart background is the gold again that I use on the inside, and I think this is so cute. I'm going to be using it tomorrow when we play D&D, because Becca always comes up with all of these mugs because she's got this insanely impressive mug collection, and she has a different one each week, and I just have the same glass of water every time. But tomorrow I'm thinking I'll make a nice cup of tea in my brand new mug and show it off. It fits my D&D character very well because they are a mushroom druid, the circle of spores, so a mushroom. And like, oh, there's a little spot. I don't know if you can see that. There's this tiny little blue dot. For some reason, it's a little pinprick. Is it blue or black? Whatever. I didn't go into this expecting it to be perfect. It's definitely not perfect, but it's so cute, and I love it so much. My boyfriend painted a ramen bowl, and he tried to paint our cats on it, and it is so cursed, but so funny. It turned out great. So this is the first thing that I got while we were out. Then we went to Wawa and got lunch, and I got a pumpkin spice latte. I did not get that on footage. I took a picture of it. I'm probably going to use that picture in the thumbnail. But I was going to take a little video of me like enjoying my lunch, but we went to a local park and there were just a lot of families and a lot of children around, and I just didn't feel comfortable filming when there was every possibility of like a child walking behind me into the shot. I just didn't want to risk that, so no video proof of that, but I did in fact get my pumpkin spice latte and a very good sandwich. So that checks off that prompt. And then we went to the first of 2 thrift stores. The first one we went to is like more like a furniture type thing. That's most of what they have, because my boyfriend wanted to look and see if they had a small dresser, because that's what he is in need of, but we didn't end up getting anything there. So we went to a different thrift store, one that we go to not like all the time, but most of the time when we go thrifting it's to that thrift store. And we dropped off our box of donations and I got some stuff. So that's more to show you. First up, I got this, I can find the top of it, sweater. I'm holding it backwards, not that it matters. But it's this cute pink and tan, and then like a darker pink on the bottom. and it's gonna be big on me, but I prefer my clothes to be bigger. I don't like when they're like touching me. That sounds ridiculous, but I don't like things that are like fitting to me. I like my clothes to be bigger, so I got a nice sweater because I don't own a ton of sweaters, and I just really like the colors on this, and it's so cozy, so I'm very excited about that. And then, to no one's surprise, I got some books, but I only got 2, so that's pretty dang good if you ask me. First one is Ghost Squad by Claribel A. Ortega. I picked this up because Jess from the Hex Library loves this author. Assuming that this is who I think it is, the author of Witchlings, which is, oh, it doesn't say in her, about the author, so I think this one came first, but, I'm like 99% sure it's the same author, and I'll correct myself on screen if it's wrong, but I do know that Jess read this book too, and really liked it, even if she didn't like it as much as Witchlings, and it's about 2 friends who, accidentally cast a spell that awakens some malicious spirits, and then they have to save the town from this curse. It says Coco meets Stranger Things with a hint of Ghostbusters, and that sounds so fun. It is a spooky mid-grade, which we know. Spooky mid-grades are so much fun, and I'm very excited to read it. The other book that I got was Sadie by Courtney Summers. They were $1 each, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get it. And the sweater was only $8, so I spent $10. This is a YA, I think, and it's got 2 different perspectives. We follow Sadie, who like runs away or something. Like, her sister is killed, and then she, like, goes missing, so people are like, did she get kidnapped? Did she run away? Like, what happened there? On the back of the book, it says she's hunting the killer, so we follow her then, and then, hair in my mouth, gross. We also have podcast transcripts of, this guy, West, who is, like, kind of following the clues of where Sadie went on this podcast, so that's really interesting. There's the audiobook on Everand, so I think I'm going to listen to it while I read it because of those podcast elements. I feel like that would be an extra level to it, so I'm excited to get to this one too. I really like this cover. I think it's interesting. It's not my favorite cover I've ever seen, but it's definitely, like, striking. So those are all the goodies that I got, and that means I can check off the Wither and Bloom prompt as well. So that's 2 prompts done, because the Wither and Bloom, if I slowed down and could talk normally, prompt is to declutter some aspect of your belongings and then get yourself something new to celebrate. And I did that. I donated some stuff, and then thrifted some stuff, and then also got my cute mug. So I'm gonna let you go here, and I will see you tomorrow, probably, because I plan on checking off a couple of more prompts during my stream tomorrow night, so I'll see you guys then. I've got my water, and I've got my tea and my new mug. I'm gonna watch an episode of Over the Garden Wall, and then hop on StreamYard to play some D&D. friends? It is Sunday? Sunday night. I should have known that because I'm literally currently streaming right now, and I stream on Sunday nights. I'm a little bit out of it right now, but as you saw just then, I have been making some little guys for the Pate de Rolo prompt. These are little corner bookmarks, and not gonna lie, they kind of look like Baby Shark. That was not the intent. The tutorial I followed is monsters, and I did everything exactly how they did it on the tutorial, so I don't know how I ended up with a family of baby sharks, but I still think they're really cute, and I'm proud of myself for doing this. That checks off that prompt. It also checks off the Form of Dread prompt because it is well past dark. It's pitch black outside. It's like 7 p.m. right now, and the sun set about half an hour ago, and it's already pitch black. So that's 2 more prompts checked off. I'm so happy with the progress that I've made because it's only the 6th, and I am just flying through these prompts, getting stuff done. Amazing. Yeah, I just wanted to come here and show you off my little guys. I should give them names. Also, the green one only has 3 teeth, but the pink and blue both have 4 teeth. I don't know how that happened. Weird. Yeah, so I'm gonna think on some names for these guys and maybe get back to you if I remember to do so, but I probably won't remember to do so. But I am just churning through these prompts, and I will probably see you the next time I finish one, honestly. So, see you then. Good morning, friends. It is Monday the 7th, and I've just finished reading The Mark of Athena. Oh, so good, so good. I cried twice. First, okay, I'm not gonna give details because I don't want to spoil, but first time I cried was Hazel and Leo figuring out the thing that connects the 2 of them. That made me cry. And then in the second to last chapter, the Percy and Annabeth stuff. That's all I'm gonna say because, again, I don't want to spoil. I didn't update you throughout the reading of this book because this is the 3rd book in a series, but also, like, it's a sequel series, so it's kind of like the 8th book in a series because there's the 5 Percy Jackson books, and then there's the Heroes of Olympus, and this is the 3rd Heroes of Olympus. So there's so much that you need to know going into this book. And it was too much effort to actually give you updates and try and say things in a way you would understand. But I did in fact read it, it did make me cry, and I had a wonderful time. So, that is the last book for this, other than What Doesn't Break, because this covers the last 3 prompts for Laudna-thon, the reading prompts. It is for the Undead Warlock, because this book has ghosts in it. It is covers the prompt of Delilah Briarwood, because that is a Mars pick, and I gave so many options for Mars pick, including read a book by one of my favorite authors, and Rick Riordan is one of my favorite authors. And the 3rd prompt that it covers is the Sun Tree, which is a book with a cliffhanger. This is a big freaking cliffhanger, guys. I'm pretty sure the next book in the series, the dedication, says something about, like, sorry for the cliffhanger, not ha 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 ha, because Rick Riordan thinks he's really funny. I mean, he is kind of funny, but yeah, I'm just babbling at this point. But that's that. I am so excited to pick up What Doesn't Break. It's the next book I'm going to be reading. It comes out tomorrow, so I can't start it yet, obviously, because I don't have it. Hopefully I can get my hands on it tomorrow. We'll see. We'll have to do some planning because the nearest bookstore is not very close and I don't drive. So I'll talk to my boyfriend about that later. But I will see you when I have the book, probably, is going to be the next update, because the only activity prompt I have left is the watch something spooky scary, and I have been watching Over the Garden Wall, as you've seen, but I'm not going to finish it until the 10th because there's 10 episodes and I've been watching 1 episode a day. So that means the book is going to be the next thing you see, assuming I get it, like, as soon as possible. So I'm gonna stop talking now because you're probably annoyed, but I'll see you next time I get to film an update. Hello friends, this lighting is terrible because it is 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday the 8th, and I have a Barnes & Noble bag. This was an ordeal. So I live in Philadelphia, not in the center city. The Barnes & Noble is in center city, so I have to take the train to get to the Barnes & Noble. Take the train, it's fine, go get food, go to the Barnes & Noble, go upstairs to the section where this book would be, and there's an author event going on, taking up the entire second floor of the Barnes & Noble. So we're tiptoeing around, trying to find this book, we can't find it. Okay, we'll go check the new releases section, and if it's not there, then we'll ask an employee. Go to check the new releases, and it's not there at all. And at this point, I'm stressing out. My boyfriend, he's fine. He doesn't stress about this kind of thing. But I'm stressing out because we have a time limit on how long we can be there because we have a train to take back. And if we miss that train, we'd have to wait another hour until we can take the next one. So I'm okay, we're gonna go and ask the lady where this book is. So we go up there. She's so confused because it's Critical Role, Bells Hells, What Doesn't Break, and so there's a bunch of titles and subtitles, and she's just very confused about this book. She goes to look at the new releases, and she's okay, it's not over here, even though the machine says it's on the shelf. I'm gonna go check in the back. So she goes and checks in the back. Thankfully, it was there. So I have, actually, on top of it, I have Chainsaw Man Volume 16, because that's the next one, and we had to pick it up because it's the next one. And I'm very excited to read this sometime later in the month. But what you're here for is What Doesn't Break by Cassandra Khaw. She's so skinny. She's 250 pages, which a 250-page book for $30? Are you insane? I don't know how I'm going to do this. I rarely buy books new, mostly because they're so expensive nowadays. It's genuinely so crazy, but it's fine. I won't buy another book full price until the next Critical Role book, which is March of next year, so somewhat soon, but it's fine. Yeah, stunning cover. Under the dust jacket, it's this wine red burgundy color. And then the end pages have these purple ribbony swirls and Pate's skull and little hammers. Actually, are they both the same? Yeah, the back one's the same. So, very pretty book. Just, it should not have been $30 for this. And then the little quote on the back says, "You can be a monster they love, Laudna. It's easier than you think." So, I'm very excited to read this. Oh! This is such a tiny font. I'm going to have to compare it to the other two books. But I think the font looks smaller and it looks very, squished. There's definitely less space between the lines. So maybe that's why it's so short? I don't know. I should stop looking at it because I'm going to spoil myself. So I'll definitely have to compare that to the other books because that looked so small on the page. But I've got this. I'm going to be reading this over the next couple of days. There's a really good chance that I finish it tomorrow, not going to lie, but if I don't finish it tomorrow, I'll definitely finish it the next day. So, you will get to hear my thoughts. I'll give you updates and things. Yeah, uncover the lost years of Critical Role's unrelentingly upbeat undead spellcaster in this original prequel novel to Laudna's adventures with Belle's Hells. Yeah, I'm very excited to be reading this, so I am going to go feed my cats, and then I probably won't pick this up just yet. I've got a couple more things to do before I can pick this up, but maybe once I'm settled into bed and waiting for my boyfriend to get ready, because I usually get ready for bed before him, giving myself some time to read, so I think that's what I'll do. I'll pick this up when I'm in bed and nice and cozy. So I'll see you whenever I have an update for this. Good morning, friends. It is like 9:40ish on the 9th, and I know I said that I was gonna watch one episode of Over the Garden Wall a day. Well, today I watched 2 of them and finished it off. I had a rough night last night, and so this morning I got up and I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself and watch the last 2 episodes. So I did, and it was so sweet and cute. And this is not my first time watching Over the Garden Wall. I've watched it like a bajillion times, but I just really love it. It's one of my favorite little series, and so I've been sitting here cozied up in my chair with a mug of tea. I've used this mug every single day since I got it. I'm genuinely obsessed. So that was that. I have watched my cozy, spooky, scary thing, and the only thing left to do is to read the Laudna book. I cannot believe we're here on the 9th and I've already done everything except for read the group book. That's insane to me, but I did not end up starting it last night like I had planned, so I will start that at some point today, but I'm gonna be responsible and get all of my other tasks done first so I can really sit and get into the book and not feel like I'm neglecting my other priorities, my responsibilities. So that is the plan for today, and I will see you later with an update. Good evening, friends. It is about 8 p.m. and I'm here to give you my first update on What Doesn't Break. Show you the spine. I am 50 pages in exactly. You can see it's about 20% because this is 253 pages. So quite short, but I've made it through the first 20% and I thought I'd let you know how I'm feeling. It's formatted very strangely, so if I flip it open, there's so many pages before you get to it. So you have Act 1, then you have the prologue, and then you have a bunch of pages. Come on. Chapter 1. And I've read, I think, like 3 chapters, and then I flipped ahead, and I think there's like 7 chapters before we get a section titled Act 2. And I think, just based on, like, the content in Act 1, that part is Delilah's story, which is so interesting. I should say, spoilers, but I feel like that's understood. I don't know. At first I was like, oh, this is Laudna's story, or she was Matilda before she was Laudna, but then we go to the prologue, and that's like the start of her story, and like how her life gets intertwined with the Briarwoods. So I'm like, is that Delilah Briarwood's story in the little like Act 1, Act 2 things? That's really interesting. The writing style is a little bit denser than I would like. It's got this very like fairy tale whimsical vibe to it, which I think works for this story. It's just that it feels like Cassandra Caw had the thesaurus open on her desk next to her as she was writing this. Genuinely, it's like every other paragraph there's a word that like I've never seen before, like no one will ever say. So that's a little bit like, okay, we get it, you know, a lot of big words, but the style itself is very interesting, and I didn't expect it. I've never read a Cassandra Clare book before, but I'm vibing with it for the most part. I was nervous going into this because I've heard not great things about some of Cassandra Clare's other works, but I'm pleasantly surprised by this, so I'm going to keep reading and see how far. Was it? Oh, no, I thought it was, like artwork or something. It was just the chapter heading that caught my eye. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading and see how far I get in this tonight, and maybe I'll update you again tonight depending on how far I get, but at the very least you'll see me tomorrow, so I'm gonna crack on with this. Good morning, friends. It is about 9 a.m. on the 10th, and I figured I'd come on here and give you a little update. Yesterday, while reading before bed, I got to about halfway through What Doesn't Break, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm not, like, loving it, but I'm having a good time. The structure is very interesting. I know I talked about how there was, like, Act 1, Prologue, Chapter 1, and then we've seen Act 2 a little ways in, and I know there's more because I've flipped through, but even besides that, it doesn't super follow like traditional story structure, like, you know, Save the Cat beat sheet and all that. Like, it does have like a beginning and we're into the middle, and I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of conclusion, but it's a very meandering kind of plot, and there aren't like very definable beats in my opinion. It's more like Laudna goes to this place, these things happen, she has to leave, she goes to this place, some things happen, she has to leave, she goes to this other place, things happen, she has to leave. So like, I don't know, I feel like some people might get tired of that kind of setup, but it is still building up this like character arc that she's going on, so I don't mind it. I actually think it's kind of refreshing to read a book that isn't so, I don't want to say formulaic, because like story structure isn't necessarily a formula, so like it's not a bad thing to have like a normal story structure. Like I follow normal story structures in my books, but just the fact that this is different, and like the writing style being so fairy tale-esque and lyrical, it's just different from what I was expecting, and I'm enjoying that, so I'm excited to keep going. Yeah, I feel like the next time you see me will be when I finish this book, so that's super exciting. I'm gonna get to reading again. Okay, friends, it is now 11:45, and I have officially finished What Doesn't Break by Cassandra Clare. I love this book. I wouldn't say that it's like perfect 10 out of 10 obsessive over it, but I still really had a great time reading this, especially the further we got into it. The biggest problem is still the fact that there are so many like random words kind of thrown in. Like, I have a moderately large vocabulary. There are times that I use big words that a lot of people probably wouldn't know, and I enjoy that kind of writing style too. Like, if I have to stop and figure out a word's definition from context clues or even Google it, like, that's perfectly fine. I don't mind that. But this, in the beginning section, it was definitely worse. It was like every other paragraph had a word that I had no idea what it meant. But like as it went on, that was like lessened, so that was great. I really liked the second half where things kind of like picked up, and there was like this, it's, I wouldn't call it a reveal because the reader knows what's going on. At least I did, and anyone else who knows Critical Role would. This might be a book that people can read without knowing Critical Role. I'm not too sure, but like, I don't know if someone who didn't know Critical Role read this, if they would have gotten this from the beginning, but about halfway through, little past, there is that like reveal that the character learns something that, at least to me, has been obvious the whole time, and I thought that was so well done. The scene where we learn why the title is What Doesn't Break, I really liked that little chunk of it. That was so good. And the ending, so this doesn't end at the start of the campaign. So at the start of the campaign is when everyone comes together, but Laudna and another character were already like traveling together for a time, and so the ending of this book is when she and that character meet, and I really liked that. I thought it was so nice. So yeah, definitely very glad that I read this book, and I'm very excited for the live discussion. There's no date set for that yet. I still also have to ask my friends who wants to join in with me, but if you're interested in that sort of thing, subscribe to my channel because there will be a live discussion of this book the end of October, maybe beginning of November. Like I said, have not figured out the details of that yet, but got time. Today's only the 10th. It's insane to me that I finished all of this on the 10th of the month. I did not expect that, but I'm very glad that happened because I'm traveling tomorrow and I'll be gone for a week, and that means this is nicely closed up and I don't have to worry about doing stuff for it while I'm away. So, with all that said and done, we've come to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.